morning. So, it's Friday, so that is a good thing. I'm having the strangest morning. I'm not exactly sure, like, what's going on. And my throat hurts. I have a sore throat, and I think I got it from my kids. Hey, Millie. So, yeah, it's been a weird morning. Like, I haven't had a morning like this in months. It's been like thing after thing after thing. I left a bunch of stuff at home. I'm running late. I've been practicing this thing I call time bending. Well, I don't call it time bending. I heard it's called time bending, but I've just been doing it, where you can create your own time and you can bend time to your needs. So because I used to be someone who's always late, I've been practicing having a better relationship with time so that I'm like creating more time in my life. And it's been working really well. It's kind of freaky, actually. But I use the same principles that I did to create more money in my life. And I'm just applying those same principles to time because I read a book where they said you could. Actually, 2 books now have said the same principles you use when you want to create more money, you can do that to create more time. So I've been doing that. And it's been working out really well. And today has just been strange because, I mean, I'm focusing, but like I said, I left late and I left a bunch of stuff at home that I actually need, which is annoying because I didn't have enough time to go back and get it. And it's crazy. There's so much. I got all the red lights. I got all the trucks turning in front of me. I'm like, this is not my normal reality. Like, usually I'm all the green lights and smooth sailing, and so that's oh, and I left my makeup in the garage. What did I run out of? I ran out of something that I need. Oh, and I left my my energy drink that I drink every morning at home. I didn't bring my lunch. I'm just like, what is happening? There's a bunch of stuff I need to take to the post office. I didn't bring that. So if you're in the planners mastermind group, yeah, I did not bring your new planner to put into the post office. So I'll be mailing those tomorrow. So that's annoying. It's frustrating. So I just feel generally off. And you know, nothing is, you know, going to waste in this world. So this feeling is not also going to waste. Like, there's a reason that things are all topsy-turvy right now in my experience. And I'm not going to take that for granted. Like, I'm actively seeking the answer to why today is so much different than every other day. It's like, and I have a sore throat. I already said that. I feel froggy too, like my voice is different. But it's like the universe is trying to get my attention and point me to something, but I don't even know what it is. Like, I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm realizing, like, thing after thing after thing that I've left. So I guess in that way I didn't forget things. I actually remembered them. I try to spin everything. So I remembered that there are things that I left at home. But I wish that whatever it is that I'm supposed to know, whatever message I'm supposed to get today, that I get it already, because my goodness, this is so annoying. I was just off kilter. Okay, so what I wanted to come on and tell you guys, yesterday was the first day that I switched my daily vlog over from Instagram Live to Facebook Live. And the only reason I like Facebook, the only reason I wasn't doing Facebook Live from the beginning is that I love Instagram Live's filters. And yes, for the day that I left my makeup at home, it would be really nice to have one of those Instagram live filters where you look like a freaking rock star instead of you have like a little scar on your nose. So that's annoying. And I was very tempted, because of vanity, I was very tempted to go back over to Instagram live today and just be like, oh, I'm sorry, just kidding, today I'm back on Instagram, and then like post the video onto Facebook. And instead I spent like 10 minutes going through all of the Facebook filters trying to find if there's one that like makes me not look crazy sleepy and helps a sister out. I mean, come on, help me out. So I spent 10 minutes. I did not find a filter. Even with the lighting here, it's like so dark in my car, and I'm like, gosh, can I just get a little light? Can I get a little touch up? No. So and Facebook filters, for some reason they have music. Why do they have music? I don't even know. It's annoying. So if I had more time, I would Google like how to get the music to stop, because you can't even hear, like the music is so loud. So that makes me think of something. So Facebook Live, no filter, that's it, just raw, just real life, that's fine. But I wanted to come on today because yesterday I came on, I told you that my show is basically about how to manifest things in your life. And I tell you a little bit about how to manifest each time, but mostly my purpose is to tell you how I'm manifesting things in my life. I tell you basically, this is behind the curtain, this is what's happening, this is what I'm doing to make it happen. Because I think so many times people are doing this. First off, y'all should know people are doing this. This is not a new thing. This is definitely not at all something I created. This is probably why the Illuminati had their own like secret private group, because if they started telling people they were doing this, people would be like trying to put them in jail or something for being warlocks or something crazy like that, sorcerers or magicians. People wouldn't just know like, oh, this is a scientist, oh, this is a Renaissance man, oh, this is a painter. They're regular people. This is an architect. He's a regular person, but he has found the secret to success. Hey, Diane. He's found it, and Loki. He's found the secret to success, or he's found a way to change his reality. So, wow, kudos for him. Let's learn how to do it too. So I believe, and I was talking to someone yesterday about this a little bit, Kimberly, that knowing what I know now, and I'm probably going to get some backlash for this, and I really don't care because this is my honest opinion. Knowing what I know now, I think the Illuminati was honestly a group of regular people who either from passed down stories through generations, or they just figured it out, or divine inspiration. They figured out how to create their own reality, how to be co-creators of their own lives, how to use the secret, how to harness the secret. They were the original people who came up with the secret. And in order to protect themselves from public flogging or death or persecution, they had to take their message underground and became the Illuminati. Now, I did not research any of this. I am making this up as I go along. But I'm just saying, like, knowing what I know now, if this were not 2019, if the internet was not so enormous, and I came on, or I told anybody in my regular life, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is amazing, they would think I was freaking crazy. If this was like 50 years ago, I'd probably be in an insane asylum at this point. Like, really. And so I think that if this were, you know, centuries ago, I would have to take my message underground. And yes, I do feel enlightened. I feel like I'm in step 5. When I talk about Abraham Hicks' steps to co-creating, I feel like I'm in step 5. And step 5 is a pretty enlightened place to be. It's enlightenment. And my entire life, I've been trying to figure out what is enlightenment and how do you get there. I've called myself a seeker of light since at least 2000. And I've always dipped in and out of knowing things and asking the right questions. But like I said, life has caused me to dip back out. And this time, for some reason, everything has aligned. And now I'm getting all the answers to the questions I've been asking my entire life. Questions, and I don't know if you're like this too, but like, you know, you go to Sunday school when you're a kid, you have questions a Sunday school teacher can't answer, or they don't answer them to your right satisfaction, or they tell you that it's not biblical, or you're not a good Christian if you ask questions. If you ask, well, how did Jonah survive in the belly of a whale? And they're like, oh, you don't have faith, or something like that. You know, you get criticized just for the asking of the question. Which is another way that you lose your voice. I mean, if you're like me, because if you start getting criticized, like publicly humiliated in class for asking a question, it's reinforcement that you should not ask questions. So over time, you know, in my life, I actually became really, really quiet. And now, since my midlife crisis, I have become not really, really quiet. Like I've found my voice again, and I've started using it. But what I'm learning now is literally, honestly, the answer to all the questions I've had my whole life about religion, about the way the world works, about money, about success, about time and time management, which is not really time management, it's more like energy management. And it's incredible. And now this is becoming more mainstream, and people are starting to talk about it. People have been talking about it, but it's not been accepted. Like, especially, I'm a Christian, and I know, I've heard, you know, I've seen people on this path before, and it's like absolutely not allowed, you know. And so I remember in college, like I was kind of okay, what is this all about? Oh, okay, that's cool, but I'm pretty sure that's not allowed in my religion, so let me come on back. You know, and then now that I'm older, it's like things just keep coming back up for you, you know, because I'm honestly looking and I'm honestly asking. So the question keeps presenting itself, but I'm not ready for the answer. So I go back into my life, and I'll probably do a whole series on, you know, how religion can actually be a roadblock to enlightenment. Because I really did feel conflicted a lot about, like, is this right, is this wrong, throughout my entire life. But now I feel that this is right, and it does not conflict with my Christian beliefs. It actually makes them stronger, because now when I read the Bible, I'm like, yes, that is exactly right. But that's not what they tell you in church. So you can't go by what they tell you. You have to go by what you read for yourself. And I guess that's with anything. So, yes, and Illuminati, it means light, you know, it's the people with the light, and it is absolutely true. Like, they definitely do have the light. As a matter of fact, you know, again, to risk being committed to an asylum, I'm going to tell you, so this week, on Monday and Tuesday of this week, as I was going throughout my day, I felt like there was a light coming in through the top of my head. And if I was looking at something and focusing on it, I felt like there was light coming out of my eyes. And if I was talking to someone, I felt like there was light coming out of my mouth. Like, that's that. And that on Tuesday, when that happened again, and it was, you know, there wasn't light, but it felt that way. Like, you know, it just felt, I can't explain it. But on Tuesday, that's when I was like, oh, Illuminati, like, they would totally lock me up centuries ago if I told people this. But I was so much in flow, and I was so much like tuned in to source, that it was like I was in a whole different place that I had ever been in before. Like, I'd finally like gotten it. Like, I got it. I get it now. And so that's when I started feeling the light. So this is what's happening. step one, this is from Abraham Hicks. Step one, life causes you to ask. So you live your life experience and things happen that you don't like. And usually when things happen you don't like, you have a desire for something different. Like you're like, I don't like the way that person talked to me. I wish that, they were nicer to me. Those kinds of things go straight up. God gets those requests and then he starts working on it like immediately. God loves us. God is love. He takes your request, the request from your heart that you may not even realize that you're asking for, good and bad. And he goes, okay, I can make that happen. And step two is the universe lining up so that whatever you ask for starts to happen. Step three is when you finally get yourself in the mode to receive it, meaning that your vibration is the same as the vibration of what you're asking for, good or bad, then it will be released to you. You'll get it, whatever it is. And it's a lot easier probably to manifest the horrible things than it is to get the good things, because you have to be in a good place to get the good things you're asking for. I wanted to be out of debt, and I had a specific reason that I wanted to be out of debt, and I asked wholeheartedly to be out of debt, and I pretended that I was out of debt so my vibration would match the vibration of someone who was out of debt. And then in like 2 months we had paid off over $300,000 in debt, just like that, because I had matched my reality, which is not reality at all. I matched it to the reality I wanted. So I basically imagined myself I think I'm really about to be sick, but I'm gonna try to fix it. Let's see if I can fix my illness with with the power of my mind. Okay, I'll keep you posted. So I literally imagined my life. Like I pretended at every waking moment, I pretended that I was in a different reality, and I made what I wanted come to be. Down to trying to figure out, because I thought it would take 5 years. So I'm like, who am I in 5 years? What do I look like? Where do I live? How do I dress? All that. And I decided that, I wear like those booty shoes. I wear like booties, in 5 years. Like that was just one of the things on my list. I was like, I wear those kinds of shoes, because I was wearing ballerina flats all the time. And I was like, no, I wear these other kinds of shoes, when I am, in 5 years, the next version of me wears these kinds of shoes. So I found some of those kinds of shoes. I found those shoes and I was like, hey, I'm going to get them, because the me in 5 years dresses like this. So let me go ahead and start dressing like that. So I was literally walking in the shoes of my future self. And that was a reminder to me to always think about that. Like always think of where I want to be, where I want to be, where I want to be. And then next thing you know, checks started arriving in the mail. Every time I go to the mailbox, there's some checks. Random checks that I didn't ask for. Random thing. Yesterday I went to, was that yesterday? Yesterday I went to the mail, not yesterday, day before yesterday, I went to the mailbox, check in the mail, $232. Wasn't expecting it, but I had just paid a bill for $170. I paid a bill for $170. I went and got to the mailbox, got a check for $232. Thank you, universe. It's like these are the kinds of things that happen to me now, because this is the reality I've created. Sounds weird, but it's worth trying, because what have you got to lose, right? So in the last 24 hours, because what my show is basically going to be and supposed to be about is what has happened to me in the last 24 hours. And the reason that it's not about that so far is that, like, on Instagram, I've already established this, like whoever's watching already knows, like, this is what I talk about. But on Facebook, I'm like having to tell you, like, this is what I talk about on my show, since I'm moving my show from Instagram Live to Facebook Live. So in the last 24 hours, so yesterday I was about to do the final update and print of the budget diary, and I had this tagline. So my company is called Bold World Planners, and my tagline was get your financial life together. And it came from like me saying that over and over and over again in my advertisement. I'd be like, let me help you get your financial life together. Let me help you get your financial life together. And so on the cover page of the new budget diary, it said, you know, I want to help you get your financial life together. But get your financial life together was the tagline that I was going to start using. But something about it wasn't right. I was like, I don't like this. There's something that's not sitting well with me. And I follow my feelings. So, very strange thing that happened. So I was sitting at my desk at work and I was like, let me go take a break. You know, I'm going to say something told me, because I think you guys can relate to the feeling of something told me to, you know, something told me to turn right. Something told me to go in this coffee shop. Something told me to, and then that leads to like this big revelation in your life. So I'm going to use that term when I talk about like the universe or intuition or something giving me a divine inspiration. I'm going to say something told me. So I'm sitting at my desk at work. Something told me to go take a walk. Like, you need a break, get up, go take a walk. So I got up, I walked around the building, and something told me to Google. I had my phone in my hand. Google the difference between PNG and JPEG, because I had saved the budget diary as a JPEG, and the picture quality was doing something weird, and I was like, I don't know. And I had already looked up PNG and JPEG, and I had decided JPEG would be the best for my pictures. So I looked it up one last time, and I got a totally different result, and it was just a picture, and it was doing exactly what mine was doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, thank you, universe. I need to go in and delete all that stuff I did yesterday with the JPEG, and I need to turn it into a PNG. So then I was walking, and I got something told me that my tagline was, let me help you get your financial life together. And that's not a future vision. I mean, it's like saying like, okay, I can help you, but it's like, I can help you now in your struggle. I can help you with your mess. That's not a future vision. That's not a message that's going to motivate people or inspire people to join my community. So I'm walking around this building, and Russell Brunson, it's like all simultaneous. Russell Brunson pops in my head, this idea that I need a future vision, and then the fact that what I talk about every single day on my live show and what I do every single day and what I'm trying to help you guys understand how to do every single day is imagine your life. Now I have, so by the way, my new tagline is imagine your life. I have 5 more planners in my head. So I made the budget diary. The new version of the budget diary will be out next week. For people who signed on to my website, you will get an email where you can see the whole freaking thing, and it's beautiful. And I'm going to send you a video where I'll be flipping through and you can see every single page. If you didn't sign up for that, I'll put the website in the comments so you can see it, and you can sign up on the email list. You'll get a coupon code, and you'll get to see the whole thing in a video. And it's amazing. So I changed my tagline to imagine your life without debt, because that's not my tagline. My tagline is imagine your life. The budget diaries tagline says imagine your life without debt. And I have 5 more planners in my head. Like, I've sketched them out and everything. Like, all I have to do is make them. But I have 5 more planners, and they're not all related to debt. So that's why it's imagine your life, because it's imagine your life fit and healthy. Imagine your life with a happy marriage. Imagine your life. It's just all, you imagine your best life. It's all related to you taking your now reality that you can see and hear and touch and taste and smell, and deciding what you want your reality to be. It's basically your imagination, and you live in that reality. You take the person you want to be. You pick a time. I tell people, pick 5 years from today. June 21st, 2024. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you? Who are you with? What are you eating? What are you watching? How are you moving? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Everything about your life. Exactly 5 years from today. Try it. When you do that and you close your eyes and you can see her, you see where she is, you see what she's doing. Then you just become her. When you become her, your vibration lines up and God says, I think you're ready. I think you're ready for what you're asking for. And he releases it to you. It's all there. And you just need it to be released to you. And you won't get it unless you're ready. Like if you win the lottery tomorrow, you better hurry up and become a millionaire, because otherwise you don't get to keep the money. I mean, that's what Jim Rohn says. If you win the lottery, you can win $1 million. But if you don't become a millionaire, the money will be gone so fast. You will blow it at Walmart and Hobby Lobby, let me tell you. You'll spend it all in Target. Or like a friend of mine from high school did, buying marijuana and partying with his friends. Like, that's just how it works. But if you become a millionaire, then you will act like a millionaire acts, and you'll be able to keep the money, let it grow, and have a legacy, and have heirs, and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, so my new tagline, I manifested just the way I just told you, walking around the building, because God was telling me, get up out of this chair, let's move, I got something to tell you. So I went back in, and thankfully I was about to send a budget diary to the printer, but I got this, I deleted all that stuff, and I changed it on my lunch break. And then I sent it to the printer with the new tagline, imagine your life without debt. And I think it's going to help so many families get out of debt, and so many people get their life back, give themselves a raise, get their paycheck back, get control over it, because on the first you have all the money, and on the second you have none of it, and the rest of the month you're struggling. That's going to be over. Imagine your life when that's over. Take a piece of paper. I got to go into work, but I want to tell you this because it's on my heart. Take a piece of paper, fold it in half the long way. On one side, write all the debts you have now, or all the bills you have now, you know, your rent, the food, the blah, 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 all the stuff you have to pay. On the other side, write what you would have if you didn't have debt. It should say, you know, rent or mortgage. It should say, or you can have your mortgage even off of there, like you've already paid off your mortgage. So it would say like food. It would say your phone bill, and not the I have to pay to own my phone bill, but no, just the bill, the monthly bill. It would say your water, your heat or whatever, gas, and it would say fuel for your car. Now, if you can imagine, you take your paycheck and that's all you have to pay. Imagine that. What would your life look like if that's all you had to pay? That's what I mean. Imagine your life like that. And then you start to imagine like how good that feels. How do you feel? You have to walk into that. You have to say like, how does this feel? You know, I get my paycheck and this is all I have to pay. Like, what does that mean to me? What does that mean that I do with my extra money? What does that mean? How can I give? You know, how can I help people? How can I, you know, donate? Once you figure that out, all this will be released to you. And like Abraham Hicks says, it is law. That is how it works, is law, just like gravity. So I have a tendency that when I learn something, I tell everybody till they are sick of hearing me say it. I am telling everybody, try this because it works. I paid off like $330,000 of debt in 14 months. And not because I make that much money. I do not make that much money. This was all like crazy, weird coincidences. Anyway, I gotta go to work.
What you're doing.
So,
and if you're
sorry, that was a book. I'm listening to Do
constantly
Less.
either getting distracted.
And she's persistent. Okay, so I will talk to you later. Every morning, every weekday morning around this time, Travel Chat. Bye.